The rain was coming down in sheets as I stared out the window of my apartment in Seattle. I'm Cyrille, 43, and until recently I thought I had it all. A comfortable life, a beautiful wife, and a job I genuinely enjoyed as a software developer at a tech company. My wife, Genevieve, was a marketing manager at a local firm. We'd been married for 15 years, and though the spark wasn't quite as fiery as it once was, I believed we were happy. Or so I thought. It started subtly. Genevieve began working late more frequently. She'd always been dedicated to her career, but this was different. The late nights became the norm, and when she was home, she seemed distant, preoccupied. I tried to talk to her, but she'd brush it off, saying she was stressed about a big upcoming campaign. One evening, I decided to surprise her at work. I brought her favorite coffee and a pastry from the bakery down the street. When I arrived at her office building, the receptionist told me Genevieve had left hours ago. My heart sank. I called her, but she didn't answer. A wave of unease washed over me. I tried to tell myself there was a reasonable explanation, but the knot in my stomach tightened with each passing minute. That night, Genevieve came home later than usual. "Sorry, babe," she said, kissing me on the cheek. "The campaign is really demanding. I had to meet with some clients after hours." Her explanation sounded plausible, but something felt off. I couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't telling me the truth. Over the next few weeks, my suspicion grew. I started paying closer attention to her phone, her schedule, her behavior. I felt like a detective in my own life, a role I never wanted to play. One Saturday morning, Genevieve told me she was going to a conference out of town. "It's a big opportunity for me, Cyrille," she said. "I'll be back on Sunday evening." As she packed her bag, I noticed a familiar scent, a cologne I didn't recognize. "New cologne?" I asked casually. She hesitated for a moment. "Oh, yes, a client gave it to me as a gift." Her answer felt rehearsed, and my suspicion reached a boiling point. After she left, I couldn't resist the urge to snoop. I knew it was wrong, but I had to know the truth. I started with her laptop. I found nothing incriminating in her emails or browsing history. Then I turned to her phone. It was password protected, but I knew her birthday. I typed it in, and to my surprise, it unlocked. My heart pounded in my chest as I scrolled through her messages. Then I saw it. A text from someone named Armand. "Can't wait to see you this weekend, my love." My blood ran cold. I clicked on the message thread and my world shattered. It was filled with explicit messages, declarations of love, and details about their secret rendezvous. Armand wasn't a client, he was her lover. The conference was a lie. She was spending the weekend with him. The pain was unbearable. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. My vision blurred and I struggled to breathe. How could she do this to me? How could she betray our marriage, our life together? I spent the rest of the day in a daze, replaying the messages in my head, trying to make sense of it all. The woman I thought I knew, the woman I loved, was a stranger. The foundation of my life had crumbled beneath me. When Genevieve returned on Sunday evening, I was waiting for her. "Welcome home," I said, my voice cold and detached. She smiled, oblivious to what I knew. "How was your weekend, honey?" "It was enlightening," I replied. "I learned a lot about you, Genevieve." Her smile faltered. "What do you mean?" I pulled out her phone and tossed it on the table. "Read it," I said, pointing to the message thread with Armand. Her face drained of color as she scrolled through the messages. "Cyrille, I don't," I interrupted. "Just don't. I don't want to hear your lies." Tears streamed down her face. "I'm so sorry," she sobbed. "It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far." "How long?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. 6 months, she confessed. 6 months. 6 months of lies, deceit, and betrayal. 6 months of me being a fool. "Who is he?" I asked. He's a colleague," she said. "We've been working closely together on the campaign." "I saw him," I said. "Armand, I went to your office. You weren't there." She broke down completely. "I'm so sorry, Cyrille. I love you. Please forgive me." But the words were empty. The trust was gone. The love I once felt for her had been replaced by a burning rage and a profound sense of loss. "I can't, Genevieve," I said. "I can't forgive you. It's over." She begged me to reconsider, promising to end the affair, to do whatever it took to win me back. But I was done. I couldn't stay in a marriage built on lies. I asked her to leave. She refused, so I packed a bag and left myself. I spent the next few weeks in a hotel trying to process what had happened. I felt lost, angry, and alone. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't stop replaying the events in my head. I consulted with a lawyer and started the divorce process. As I started to piece my life back together, I learned more about Armand. His full name was Armand Chevalier. He was a senior executive at Genevieve's company, known for his aggressive tactics and ruthless ambition. I also discovered he was married. His wife's name was Fleur. I found her on social media and saw pictures of her with their two young children. My heart ached for her. She was just as much a victim as I was. One evening, I decided to reach out to her. I sent her a message explaining who I was and what I had discovered. I told her I had proof of the affair and that I was willing to share it with her. To my surprise, she responded almost immediately. She asked me to meet her for coffee. When we met, Fleur was a nervous wreck. She told me she had suspected something was going on between Armand and Genevieve, but she didn't have any proof. I showed her the messages I had found on Genevieve's phone. She burst into tears. "I can't believe this," she said. "He's been lying to me for months." We spent hours talking, sharing our stories of betrayal and heartbreak. We found solace in each other's company, united by our shared pain. Together, we decided to expose Armand and Genevieve's affair. Fleur confronted Armand with the evidence, and he denied it at first. But when she showed him the messages, he couldn't deny it any longer. She kicked him out of the house and threatened to take him for everything he had in the divorce. I contacted Genevieve's company and provided them with evidence of her affair with Armand. They launched an internal investigation, and both Genevieve and Armand were fired for violating company policy. It wasn't revenge, but it was justice. They had both caused immense pain and suffering, and they had to face the consequences of their actions. The divorce was finalized a few months later. Genevieve tried to apologize, but I couldn't bring myself to forgive her. The damage was done. The trust was broken beyond repair. In the aftermath of the affair, Fleur and I grew closer. We found comfort and support in each other's company. We started spending more time together, and eventually, our friendship blossomed into something more. I never expected to find love again after Genevieve's betrayal, but Fleur showed me that it was possible to heal and to open my heart to someone new. She was kind, compassionate, and understanding. She knew what I had been through and she helped me to move on. We started dating, and a year later I asked her to marry me. She said yes. Our wedding was a small, intimate affair, surrounded by our closest friends and family. As I stood at the altar looking into Fleur's eyes, I knew I had found my happy ending. The pain of Genevieve's betrayal was still there, but it no longer defined me. I had survived, I had healed, and I had found love again. And that, I realized, was the ultimate revenge.